What does a typical Independence Day look like in Ukraine? What sort of celebrations would we have been seeing if there wasn't a war going on?
Well, usually there's a big parade and different events in Kyiv. In contrast to Moscow's celebrations, where there are hundreds or thousands of military vehicles, there's some sort of Ukrainian Air Force fly past. But under President Zelensky, the current president, there have been musical events, cultural events, and it's been a relaxed day with people walking around the center of Kyiv and also large cities like Lviv and Kharkiv. That's what would normally happen. But of course, this year, with the threat of missile attacks or other attacks and artillery strikes, that's not going to happen. It's going to be much more low key.
And how realistic is the expectation, following on from what the US Embassy in Kyiv has said, which is issuing a security warning for tomorrow, saying that Russia will step up their efforts. What does it mean, and is that verified? I mean, is that a realistic expectation?
I think it is a realistic expectation, but the Russians have been, launching missile strikes at Ukrainian cities for 6 months, and they unfortunately do have the ability to strike anywhere in the country, because they can fire their missiles from inside Russia or from battleships on the Black Sea. And Ukrainian intelligence agencies and American intelligence agencies and the British have been picking up, they monitor all sorts of encrypted signals, but also open talk on open lines between ordinary soldiers and their families back home in Russia. And they can tell that there have been preparations. And so the Russians can certainly do it. They have the ability to do it. And people think that Russia's president's psychology, Putin's psychology, is such that he's eager to show some sort of inflict some sort of powerful hurt on Ukraine, because tomorrow is the 6th month of his invasion of Ukraine, which he said would last 3 days.
And give me a sense of this story, this rather bizarre story, where Putin's government is accusing Ukraine of organizing the killing of Darya Dugina, the daughter of one of Putin's allies, and the general consensus seems to have been that this is yet another attempt to find an excuse for more draconian action. And it's such a convoluted story that the Russians seem to have come up with. I think part of it involved the fact that the assailant, this woman, fled across the Estonian border, but the Estonian government has spoken out against those claims. So what's the latest? And again, any chance of some veracity in there?
Look, the people I've spoken to, and they're not highly placed Ukrainian intelligence officers, but people with an intelligence background and ordinary Ukrainians are very skeptical about this. Most Ukrainians would not mourn the death of the dead woman's father, or even her, because both of them for years have been preaching visceral kind of hatred against Ukraine and encouraging a Russian invasion. And many people would like to think that some sort of leggy femme fatale from the Ukrainian secret services had done this. But as you say, it's a bizarre story, and there's so many unlikely things in it. Does a woman take her baby when she performs an assassination? And is a Mini Cooper the best car to blend into Russia?
Fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I suppose all of that, but I suppose the worrying thing in the end, I mean, the Russians can fabricate away, but the worrying thing at the end is if it's enough to give Putin a sense that he can take some kind of extreme action, which is what you've been referring to in terms of the independence celebrations?
Well, the timing of the this assassination on the eve of, today is Ukrainian Flag Day, so it's also a holiday, and tomorrow is a big commemoration. It's Ukraine's 31st independence anniversary. So maybe this is all some horrible pretext to justify what he may be
Mm.
planning.